our skunks, Karthik and Abhishek Maheshwarappa, who have been working on model interpretability, onto you guys. You can present your ideas and we are good to go.
Thanks, Prabhu. Let me just share my screen. Okay.
Yeah, we can see your screen, Abhishek.
Oh, that's great. So uh, we today's talk will be based on model interpretability. So to start with, briefly about us. So myself, Abhishek Maheshwarappa, and uh, my teammate and my partner, Karthik Kumar. So we are all 19 students. We are information system students, and we are currently working as a graduate program analyst. We are the graduate student researchers in one of the class with professor, and we are soon to be authors. So this is the front of the book what we are currently working on. So we are basically working on model interpretability. So what it is, everything will come to know in some time. In few minutes, we'll convince you what it is and why it is useful. So the thing is to just begin like why it is important and how much it might impact your profile. We would like to give our example what we went through. This was during 6 months back in last semester when we started this. We started this and we did a draft of it, which was presented to the professor. Professor liked it. Later, he posted it on the LinkedIn. After posting it on the LinkedIn, a couple of people from the industry approached us. So today, whatever we are working as a program analyst, it was based on this process. Though Skunkworks is not related to getting any paid job or paid RATA, it's not related to that. But the work what you do here, right, that will help you to reach there. That is what happened with her. We didn't go somewhere. It's more of like whatever the work what we did that spoke for us, and that is through that we were connected to the people. And currently we are working on this book, and we are working as a graduate program analyst. Moving ahead, so what will be the today's talk? So basically we'll start with why model interpretability, why it is required, then moving on to what it is, or what is model interpretability. At the ending we'll say how do you get involved in this research. So the reason for model interpretability, the demand arises because of these questions. Currently, whatever the models we have, whatever the machine learning models we have, can we trust them? Are they transparent enough to understand what is going on within them? What is the quality of these models, and how fair they are, and how accountable they are when they make some decision? To answer these questions, that is where the demand started with interpretability. Though it's not the other way around, where you say we have trust and transparency, then we say, oh, this model is interpretable. No, it doesn't work in other way. It's just one direction where these things rise the demand for interpretability. Interpretability is not just this thing, but these things led to cause of why we need interpretability. So to start with the example, you might be having a idea about Husky and Wolf problem, the classification, famous classification problem. So basically, you start modeling for classification of wolf and husky to a separate. You build a CNN deep learning model. Finally, you done with all, you get output. Later, you check the accuracy on your test data. You validate it. Then you check the accuracy. You're getting very good accuracy. Say, for example, 96%, 95%. That's a too good of to get. That is when we say that okay, the model is performing well. Okay, we have a good model. That is what we thought. Later, we have a like my partner Karthik. Whenever we say that this model is working, he will come up, he'll push in some data and see whether it is working or not. So this was the case. He pushed in a snow data, an image of snow, and our model classified it as ASCII. That is where we're confused. We were jumping around. Oh, our model is working fine. That's good. But when we passed in an image of snow, then we realized, oh, the model is looking at something else. It's not looking at ASCII. It's not looking at wool. It is looking at something else. I know this is not a big problem. This doesn't affect anything because you're just classifying ASCII and whole. But what if the problem is something different, like what happened with IBM, where facial recognition software it was stopped because it was doing racial inequality. Then we have Amazon, which also stopped the process of facial recognition software because it was having bias within it. And we have another example, like recently this one, the machine learning model has been used to provide like rent, property. These kind of decisions are made using this machine learning models. But these models are whatever the law says currently is, these models are not responsible if they do some bias or if they do some mistake while predicting something, because no one is looking at that part. But if you look at that part and see, okay, this model is doing mistake because of this thing, that is where the model interpretability comes in, and it comes in with a microscope saying over the model, okay, this model is not working fine. Though the accuracy is good, the model is looking at something else. It will fail at some point. And even adding to that, this is a big issue. You go to a bank, you apply online saying that uh, I want a credit card. Your credit card will be rejected. You don't know why it is rejected. You go to the bank, you'll say, why was my credit card rejected? They say that you didn't had required things, but they also don't know why, because the machine learning model is helping them, this person, whether they can get a credit or not. They also don't know why a person should get credit or not. They have a model which is built by a data scientist. He has some input data. Based on that data, he builds a model. And we don't know whether it is looking at male and female. Being a male, if it is a criteria, if being a female, that is a criteria, that's not right, right? Even this is okay. Some extent you might say, okay, yeah, it doesn't affect much. What if you go to a medical field where you have a machine learning model detecting a diabetic retinopathy or detecting a cancer tumor? It should look at the proper things what doctors are looking at, right? For example, if you take a diabetic retinopathy eye, there are vessels which get bulger and there are some degeneration in the eyes. It has to look at those parts. If it is looking at something else and it is classifying, okay, this person has a diabetic retinopathy, then it's a problem, right? Because there are life is involved there. It becomes a big stake. Even today, if you look at Google, right? Google are coming up with new things for the third world countries where there are no much doctors. There are handheld devices which, if you just point at your eyes, it will say, okay, this is the issue with the eyes, because there are no doctors. We are relying on machine. So when machines are involving so much into our life, we should know whether they are making a proper decision or not. If they are not making, what we should do. To know these details, we need model interpretability. So why now? Why this discussion comes up now? The reason is interpretability is not new. It has been an old technique, but it has not come into limelight because machine learning was not used so extensively before. Though machine learning existed from before, now it is being used extensively. Why it is being used extensively? There are a couple of reasons. You have a lot of data. You have everywhere the data is there. A lot of things depends on data, and adding to that, you have computing resources now, which can do trillions of bytes and petabytes of computing within few minutes of time. But before, there was no computing resources, like there was no data. So now, since all these things are present, we are using extensively using machine learning, so they become important. So among them, there are some point when you say safety, right? If you take an example of a driverless car, you sit in a car. For example, if you're going on a drive with your girlfriend, if you're driving, your girlfriend is sitting with you for the first time, she will be worried. Every time she will be looking here and there, whether you will hit some person or hit some vehicle. And it's the other way around. If she is driving, if you are sitting, the same thing happens. So safety, there only were not confident enough to sit with the person whom you know, and you have some model which you don't know anything. You want that to drive you somewhere. To trust that, to bring in that safety issue, we need interpretability. Then, as I said, ASCII problem, right? That is a problem. You need to debug that problem and then correct your model, correct your CNNs, correct your deep learning. So that is where this will help. Then you need, it's a new thing. It's a new science where new innovation where you want to learn. And we have a mismatched objectives, right? The model is classifying snow and the ASCII and hull, but we want ASCII and hull. So our objective is this, but the optimization objective was to separate snow, which is not at all required. So to handle that, then the legal issue. Recently, the legal issue has been big thing. Uh, Whatever the laws, the European Union especially, whatever the laws they have, if you're using a model, if the model is not unable to explain to the people why it made such a decision, then they're not supposed to use it. European Union doesn't give a permission to do that because you don't know whom to hold responsible for that kind of a situation. That is the reason why model interpretability is important. So going ahead, we'll have a small activity. So to tell you how machine learning models can be difficult to understand. So we have a small decision tree here. So based on the current condition of the weather and time, we want you to make a decision. So I think we'll get a poll now. So let's see, what do you think?
So Abhishek, you mean to say based on the condition, students
Yeah,
should come
yeah.
up with the answer
Answers,
and
yes.
then select it. Okay, perfect.
Just take one more minute and find the answer. It's a simple tree. It's just, it has a two conditions. That's it. It shouldn't take much time.
So just to clarify over there, the green means yes, the red means no. When you go to the time prediction, just in case if anyone is still wondering.
So I think, yeah, everyone can see the result. So it's a simple tree. Still, all of us are not in agreement. So if you look at it, today's weather, if I look at out my window, it's not sunny. Definitely it will come here. Yes. No, sorry. Yeah. No. Then time is afternoon. If it is at, you will go here. If it is no, you have to go there. But it is afternoon. This is the right answer. But there are people who have given other answers also. So it's difficult for us to interpret even a single decision tree. So let's try another activity. So this is another sample tree. So based on this, I would like you to make a decision. So we'll give you only just 30 seconds this time. So here also S is green, no is red. Okay. So now weather is not sunny, so you'll come here, it's no. Then you have people, whether the people are more than 200, no. So you'll come if weather is rainy. Currently it is not raining at my place, so I'll go with that. And if you go to year, right, year is it's saying that above 1990. So yes, so you'll go to left. But we have only, if I share the result, so this is the result. So it's so funny, right? Even the small traits is difficult to interpret. Then we'll see what we'll do with this one. So Karthik, we have a poll for this, right?
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah. Okay, take a minute. Okay, I know you guys might be wondering what is this. So you have a cloudy weather, yes. Then we have a people more than uh, yeah, more than 20 people, yes, yes. So coffee is free, no. Then you'll go. Time is afternoon, true. Yes, you come here. Then you check the year. If it is above 2020, you go here. If okay, weather is rainy, right? No, it's not rainy. You'll come here. Then you'll see whether it is year is less than 2016 or not. It is not. So no, storm. But what is the answer? Yeah, we have got left, which is the wrong answer. So see, the people say decision tree are very simple to interpret. See how much confusion it takes to even interpret the small decision tree. I'm going to say this is the very smallest decision tree. If you have more features, right, more than 100 features in your training example, then it will look more difficult to interpret. So basically, the reaction, what is it? Yeah. So yeah, I know this is the reaction from you guys. So how model interpretability will solve this is will be told by Karthik. Karthik, you can carry on.
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek. If you can stop sharing, I'll take it. Okay. So yeah, hopefully, you have got a gist of what we are trying to do and what interpretability is. So just give me a second. I'm sorry about this. So basically, a quick introduction while we get there about myself. Like Abhishek said, we have joined the college in fall 19, and we are currently doing research on model interpretability. And this has, when we started off, we had no idea about what it is. The reason we started it was because we had Professor Brown who was there to guide us. He shared some reading materials with us, and we just trusted it and just started reading the material. And so it was tough to like pick why interpretability, but we just went ahead with our gut and started studying it. And as and when we grew it, we saw a lot of appreciation from outside. People were appreciating our work that we're doing, and we were approached by we got offered this role of graduate programmer analyst. So things do come up as and when you do research and as and when you're doing good work. It doesn't go unseen. That being said, again at the beginning, like I said, it was nothing. Nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew what the outcomes could have been. Um, but yes, that's something that you'll have to trust your gut with and have faith in the process. So, what interpretability is, I'm sure Abhishek has helped you understand that. What interpretability is not is something which we'll discuss. So, interpretability is definitely not about making all models interpretable, right? There are only some certain selected models which you would want to make interpretable, where you want to gain the trust and fairness, and you want to understand how the model is working. Model interpretability is not against making highly complex models. We are not saying no to deep learning models because that's the new innovation that's being widely used. Model interpretability is not about understanding every bits and bytes of the model. So we don't want to dive into the mathematics and science of it. Yes, they do help in understanding the model, but that's not necessarily required for achieving interpretability. And so, what is our goal? Our goal is to bring us all towards a more precise notion of what it is, what it entails, when interpretability is needed, and how do we evaluate it. And this is just the beginning of a discussion. So Abhishek and I have done some work initially, but there is a lot more work which is going on, and a lot of top companies are already investing, money and manpower into this. So this is just the entire process of giving explanations to humans, and we're just starting the discussion here. So a few cases where we may not need interpretability. So sometimes we may not have a significant consequence or a prediction. Is fine, you know. So an example of that would be AlphaGo. So AlphaGo is a computer program that beat a professional player in Go, which is a board strategy game. So in that case, we're okay. Our model beat a professional player, and we're happy with the performance. We need not go and try to interpret that model. Another use case where we may not need it is when we have a sufficiently well-studied problem. So once we build trust and fairness, once we made it, we have a problem which is very well studied. There is no necessarily advantage of doing interpretability there. There's no gain there. So we may not want interpretability there because it's already a well-studied problem. And also, the third case is where we want to prevent the misuse of this. So like Abhishek had mentioned, the example of credit approval being done through a machine learning model. Now, we want to be sure we're giving access to the model interpretability to the right people, because if we give it to the wrong people, they can misuse it and they can increase their credit score by malpractice. And that is not something which we want. We want it to be a clean process. So there are different stages of applying interpretability. And so there are basically three stages which are around the machine learning model. The first stage is before building any model. This part is around the data, making sure that we have clean data. And this is something which is widely common. Everyone knows that making the data clean is the toughest part of the job. And if we have clean data and if we interpret that data very well, we can build any model. We can build interpretability before building a model. The second part is where we directly build an interpretable model. So like Abhishek said, had shown decision trees. There are a few other interpretable models, like linear regression is interpretable model. Deep learning would not come into interpretable model because that's slightly complex. But we can also build a directly interpretable model. The third stage is after building a model, we gain interpretability. So this is the case where we have a deep learning model. We're trying to understand how the model is making a decision. And so some of the common interpretability techniques are, on your screen right now. One is we have a mimic or a surrogate model. In this case, what we do is we have a model, we try to build a model which is simpler and easier to interpret and has a similar prediction. And that's our surrogate model. So we use a surrogate model to understand and interpret the main model. There is a technique by the name SHAP. It's a game theoretic approach. It helps us, it can be used for feature importance, and it takes into consideration the coalition effect of features. So it's a more accurate method. And then there is LIME, where we make local explanations. So instead of making a explanation for the entire data set, we pick a data point or a small group of subset of data points, and we try to generate an explanation for those data points. Why did the model make that prediction for that particular row or group of rows? And then we can investigate on hidden layers in deep learning, and we have partial dependency plots, which help see how a feature varies with the output. And so, yeah, these are just some of the techniques out there. There are a lot more techniques. Google recently came up with a really innovative technique, which is TCAP, which tests like a concept is embedded in a model or not. So you can actually check if a model that is, identifying tigers, does the model have the stripes concept embedded in it as a concept? And so that is something which is like a latest innovation in Google. I urge you all to, in fact, read about it. It's really interesting. So, yeah. Now, how do we go ahead? Basically, we will firstly want to know how many of you are interested in what particular skill sets you have. So there are three types of, interpretability that we plan to work on. There is one which is interpretability on tabular, CSV, and Excel data. And the second part is where we have interpretability in computer vision. So, like I said, this problem of identifying whether a tiger, which parts of the image of the tiger help in classifying it as a tiger or not. So that comes under computer vision, and that is a very vast field because especially now since we have like self-driving cars, so we want to be sure that the model is making a right prediction, you know and so the third part is where we have interpretability in natural language processing. So we want to make sure that the text that we're reading or predicting, it's being done in the right way. So these are the broad three categories in interpretability, and a couple of research ideas which Prabhu has also been working on this, and we urge anyone who's interested to continue this would be to build an evaluation system. So yes, we know what is interpretability, we know how to achieve interpretability, but do we know how to evaluate it? So what is an interpretability score, for example? And so this is just a beginning again of a discussion where we're saying that this is possibly a good idea for research where you can dive into this. So three basic steps to join would be, firstly, we would require you to know Python or R, just the basics. We need you to know how to build a model, a machine learning model. And we need you to know, complete a challenge that is given by us. So we'll give a very basic challenge. It's not a very complex. It's just to ensure that, it's not your first time making a machine learning model. That's the aim of it. We just want to be sure that you have some basic concepts instilled in you. What you don't need to know is you don't need to know anything about model interpretability right now. This was just an introduction, just to get you curious about the topic. You do not need to have experience of reading papers, but this will be a part of our journey in model interpretability. You will be required to read papers and present on them, and we will have discussions on what the latest work is going on. And you don't need to have work experience in the field, absolutely not. So this is kind of going to help you build that confidence. And part of this would also, I'd like to add, while we're making models interpretable, so we're actually right in the core of the process of making the model right. And so, like I said, there are three stages. So as and when Abhishek and I have been working with this analyst position where we're actually implementing these interpretability techniques, um, we've actually got to know a lot about the entire process. So how the data is coming in, how we are building a model on it, and then we are making sure that the model is right. So part of making models interpretable is to make sure that all these three stages are going right. And so that's something which is really unique about this. It's got vast applications. So that's about it. We'd like to end here. And if you have any questions, you can, we'll have 10 minutes of a Q&A now. And, research head for this is Abhishek. So you can reach out to him at his email ID, which is on your screen right now. And yeah, that's about it. So we'll take some questions if there are any.
So, all those who have questions, please feel free to post it on the chat box, or else raise your hand. We'll unmute you and we'll allow you to speak directly to the research head, and from there we are good to go.
doesn't look like we have any questions. I guess we've done a good job in explaining what interpretability is. But yeah, if you have any questions, guys, you can reach out to myself or Abhishek. And if you want to be a part of this, so we'll be circulating an email after this, and you guys
So,
can. Yeah.
Karthik, I think there is one question. If you can take that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Can we have a small example of what you've done, just like a preview? Sure. Sure. What is the current? All right. Yeah. Sure. So you want to see a preview of what we've done? So just give me a second. So there are a lot of things that we have done in this. Just to quickly give you a brief gist of what we've been doing. I'll share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Karthik.
Okay. Yeah. So this is where we had started with initially. We built, we started studying the models, and this was a linear regression, OLS table. So we started with interpreting that, and then this is Azure ML, which is Azure has made a really good dashboard where it allows you to make a model and then interpret it. So you can change a feature's value for a particular prediction, and you can see. So for example, here the predicted value for the insurance charges was say 0.431, and when we had made the smoker to be untrue, false, 0, the predicted value dropped. So this is just helping us interpret how much the smoker feature is important for our, prediction. And so this was SHAP, wherein, this was just giving us the feature importance with the red and blue on the image, right? It could, any prediction, we had a horse and human classifier here, and it helped identify the parts that are, having a positive and negative effect. And this is lime. So this was again a human classifier. The green area is affecting the image positively. The red area is affecting it negatively. And this is just a small part of it, right? There is TCAB. We've also worked on that. And then we have our book, which we're currently working on. So we are working on writing this book where we have explained what is interpretability, what are the methods of interpretability, right? And then we have a hands-on book. So we are, trying to show you the implementation of these. These is not yet launched. We'll be publishing it at the end of this month. This is still a work in progress. It's not public, it's private. So we have a few data sets where we're implementing SHAP, LIME, a few other techniques, and we're going to show you how it is actually implemented on a XGBoost or a random forest. And these are like some indirectly interpretable models, decision trees, and linear regression. So this is just a gist of it. This is a book on tabular data alone. We plan to also extend our work on, computer vision and NLP also. So yeah, I hope that helped you get an understanding of what interpretability was.
So there is one question,